Some champions lift trophies, others lift intrigue. Carlos Alcaraz has somehow managed to do both. With his meteoric rise through the ranks of tennis, fans have been glued to every whip-like forehand, every thunderous serve, every rally that left opponents scrambling. Yet behind the roar of stadiums and the spotlight of global success, another narrative was quietly unfolding, one far removed from rankings and titles. It revolved around a girl from his hometown of Murcia, Spain, a young woman named Maria Gonzalez Jimenez. Maria was never a tabloid character invented to spice up headlines. She had her own story, her own discipline, her own connection to the game. Like Carlos, she understood the brutal mornings on the practice court, the exhaustion after back-to-back matches, and the constant tug-of-war between ambition and a normal life. Their story didn't erupt in bold letters across sports pages. It was subtler, woven through fleeting moments, half-glimpsed by those paying close attention. The two reportedly first crossed paths at a local tennis academy in Murcia, a place that demanded discipline but promised dreams. Their connection was natural, almost innocent, two kids bound by the same city and the same sport, both pushing toward different visions of success. At the time, Maria was balancing her passion for tennis with academics. In the years that followed, she achieved something remarkable off the court, earning a bilingual law degree from the University of Murcia, proof of her persistence and intelligence. Though neither of them ever made a public announcement about being together, fans who followed closely pieced the story together. An Instagram story that seemed a little too cozy. A supportive comment under a post. A brief kiss on the cheek captured by someone's camera. The evidence was never overwhelming, but it was enough to fuel curiosity. For a time, theirs was almost like a hidden romance, the kind of story fans whispered about but could never quite confirm. But as Alcaraz's career accelerated, so did the strain. Tennis is relentless, endless travel, a schedule that leaves little breathing space, the constant demand to perform. It swallows any hope of normality. By late 2021, the hints of their connection began to fade. Then came a quiet confirmation. In early 2023, during an interview with Vogue, Carlos admitted he had been single for about 18 months. The timeline spoke for itself. The relationship had ended. Still, the question lingered. Why? Was it only the demands of tennis, or something deeper? Professional sport is often framed in glamour, shiny trophies, multi-million-dollar endorsements, deafening applause. But the reality is far less forgiving. Even the most genuine love stories can crumble under its weight. For Alcaraz, still barely into adulthood, the world changed almost overnight. His days blurred into training sessions, flights, hotels, press conferences, and matches. His life became a whirlwind without pause. Millions admired him, but very few understood the price. Maria, though from the same hometown and steeped in the same tennis culture, was left on the opposite side of that lifestyle. Think about it, how do you nurture a relationship when one partner spends every week in a new time zone? When conversations happen in brief snatches between practice and media duties? When date night isn't dinner together, but a rushed FaceTime call before sleep? For Carlos and Maria, this wasn't theoretical, it was the reality they faced. In that Vogue interview, Alcaraz didn't spell out what broke them apart. Yet his words carried the quiet truth of lived experience. Relationships, he explained, are complicated when you're always on the road. There was no bitterness, no regret, just a sober acknowledgement of the difficulties. What makes their story stand out is how clean the ending seemed. No explosive tabloid drama, no messy accusations, no betrayals. Just timing. Two young people standing at life's crossroads, both choosing futures they couldn't share. Carlos chose tennis, his destiny too bright and demanding to set aside. Maria chose her own path, finishing her law degree while staying connected to sport on her own terms, and yet, curiosity never vanished. On social media, fans sometimes resurface memories of the Murcia couple, posting screenshots of old stories and speculating about what might have been. Some wonder if Carlos still holds feelings for her, though there's never been real proof. Others go further, suggesting Maria's presence may have steadied him early on, giving him balance before the full storm of fame hit. Here lies the paradox. In sport, the most gripping tales aren't always about victories. They're about sacrifice. For Alcaraz, the world's admiration came at a personal cost. Did he lose someone who understood him more deeply than anyone else ever could? That unanswered question hangs in the air, unresolved, like a point left mid-rally, yet when the curtain closed quietly on his time with Maria, Carlos did not falter. If anything, he seemed to climb higher. Free from the weight of balancing romance with relentless travel, his focus sharpened. His game tightened. His trajectory pointed ever upward. While others speculated about heartbreak, Alcaraz seemed to channel every ounce of energy into the sport he was born to dominate. Maria, for her part, carved her own identity, away from the noise. She became a model of balance, a young woman who had known the rigors of sport but refused to be defined only by it, choosing instead to pursue intellectual ambitions with the same drive she once put into tennis. Her path was quieter than Alcaraz's, but no less admirable. Together, their story reads less like a scandal and more like a lesson in timing, choices, and the demands of chasing greatness. They were two young people who found each other in the small world of a local academy, who shared laughter and ambition, and who, for a while, walked side by side. But life pulled them apart, not through anger or betrayal, but through circumstance. For fans, the intrigue will always linger. Did Maria give Carlos the stability he needed in those crucial early years? Did he ever wish things could have been different? Did she? Those answers may never be public. What remains is the undeniable truth that behind the trophies and the highlight reels, there was once a quieter, human story that shaped the man who now commands tennis arenas worldwide. Some love stories end in heartbreak. Others fade into memory. This one became part of the legend, not through scandal or spectacle, but because it revealed the human side of a champion. Carlos Alcaraz may lift trophies for the world to see, but in Maria Gonzalez Jimenez, he once carried something far more private, a connection rooted in shared dreams, hometown pride, and a brief moment in time when two futures overlapped before parting ways.